My name's John Sollom. I'm an artist that paints, that does assemblage work, and works with a lot of material. It goes from like a pop art theme to more serious stuff, our social issues in our country. Just real lighthearted stuff also. Like athletic people doing workouts or cats and dogs and fun stuff. Making the work, making paintings is one of the things I love doing. So I could spend like a couple months just doing small little paintings, painting cats, cars, animals, like planes, tanks, birds. I mean, its subject matter could be wide open. When I finish that, I'll make a collection of all my other stuff. I collect things as I'm working too, but like the piece that you saw down here is kind of like how it begins. So I compose. Part of making, I guess I'm a composer too. You're always combining things, creating like an artwork, and that's probably the gist of my work right there. Um, how do I know when a work is finished? I would say, I don't know, after a couple days, you do something, then you let it sit for a couple days, you come back, you make changes, and usually after a week, the work I think is finished. But the very ending of a piece is never finished because I take stuff off old paintings and I'll switch them onto other pieces. So there's always something revolving in my work. Thing is, I like last 3 months I had to edit down, so I cleared out a storage unit, and I probably got rid of about at least a third of all my work. So I mean, you said, how do I edit down? That's how I edit down my work. And usually after like 2-3 years, if something I really don't like, I could just destroy it. Like you say, I have very limited space, and I mean, what do? You could either, I don't want to give work away because I'd rather give something that, because I have people that purchase my work too, so it's unfair to just to give all your stuff away, right? And a lot of the work that I destroy, I don't think is that good, is bad. So that's why, a lot of people may like it, but in the end, I'm the guy that has to get behind the saw and like rip it up. So. Like you say, like it's kind of like when you paint, it's a learning experience and it's a journey you're on. It's like where you go to visit, and like art openings, you're influenced by other artists, and you take that home and you think about that stuff when you work. I think a lot of things I do is kind of like a regurgitation of maybe 25 different artists, that I like. But on the flip side, like I told you, it was very clean when you're here, but working, there's stuff everywhere. Like half the stuff here is sprawled on the ground. Like this guy probably went through 10 images what I'm going to put in that space. So there's a lot of changing. I'm not actually painting because I've already gotten through that part. It's more about composing. I think it started in kindergarten. I was like a kind of a shy kid, and I sat in the back of the class, and the teacher would hand out crayons, right? And I'd always get the last selection. I'd get dark purple and black. But I really drew really well. So, I mean, that was, but the teachers always said, how come you don't use a lot of color in your work? I'm saying, well, that's all I got, because I always and I got used to picking the dark colors. But anyways, it started early, but I didn't think like as a career choice until even after I got out of Cal State Long Beach. I was still working at another job, for the next 5 years. So I mean, I've been jumping into this for like the last probably 15, 20 years. Going to school is good because you get a lot of different perspectives, that teachers' viewpoints that are very critical to your learning, you know, and from that educational point of view, that's great. Even though I know a lot of artists that didn't go to any university, and they're like some of the best artists out there, you know, because they, you know, their views are kind of like unadulterated. Like, you know, we don't care if you learn about Titian or Baroque painting or abstraction. You know, they're doing the best street art and the best frickin' art in the world now, man. You know, it's like, maybe I shouldn't have gone to school. Just keep your finger on the button. Oh. It's kind of funny. There's a lot of kind of unforced narratives in the work, you know, things that kind of develop like during the process, I guess. You could look at these things and say like, well, what does it all mean? It's like, I don't know. This is Smokey. Say hello, everybody. I guess there's a fondness that I have for cats. I love animals. I love plants. You know, I like fresh air. You know, so I plan to put the things that I like in my paintings, you know. But I also put things that are kind of like, kind of controversial sometimes. I mean, it's easy to throw a cat in something to make it lighthearted, but then you see the beautiful nude woman sitting next to it, and like our president George Washington, and then the kids saying, "Oh no, I don't want to see this," kind of thing. You know, even like our president, the father of our country. You know, I mean, you know, you think that he was this amazing person, but he had flaws. You know, he had slaves. There was slavery back in those days. Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, in the paintings, there's a lot of give and take. You know, do I want something a little more abstract-y, painted, or do I want to put something beautiful like these classic figurines, you know? And a new thing I've been doing is, you know, I mentioned that I cut up a lot of my old work. I'm keeping like parts of them and putting it in my new pieces, you know, the lettering. I have boxes and boxes of like stuff from old paintings that I still want to use. You want to use some for your paintings? Something like this, I think I did. Oh, 2014. 2014. That seems old. I think it must be new. But like these things here, you know, this is from 2016. But I did a pile of these old paintings here. Like I did 300 of these things. Now you get the idea. Oh, you see it. Dallas cheerleader. Butterbean. You know Butterbean? Famous boxer. Oh. But anyways, that's a seller. It's old painting of Wonder Woman. Sexy. But I'm getting to a point where I want to put snippets of those works back in my paintings now. You know what I mean? Because they're about. Then I won't say this is about me, but you know, as an artist, you're always working with your hands and working with tools, and that's why this stuff. It was like I love doing that kind of work. It was fun. So that photograph is my mother with one of these big like assemblage construction pieces I did probably like 30 years ago, and it won I entered it in a juried show, and I won a museum show out of it at the Anaheim Museum many years ago. So this is like the beginning of that work. Yeah, I don't know if it's not the best photo. It's like out of one of those. yeah, so I mean, that was kind of like probably one of the first ones I did, I get up around 6, feed the cats, watch the news for about an hour, and then I'll work out. I'll do workout on my mat, do the elliptical machine, do exercises, go for a walk. Usually about 10:30, 11. I'll eat lunch. Usually don't eat breakfast. So I'll have lunch and then I'll start coming out here off and on. If I have to go shopping, have to go to the art store or to a gallery, Usually my most productive time of the day doesn't start till like 3 in the afternoon till usually I could paint till like about 10, and then I say, okay, I'm gonna watch a little TV and go to bed. So yeah, so I'm usually a later starter. One thing I do like is the palette that I'm using. I'm simplifying it to just like red, white, and black. But I'm just in love with the apple red color, because to me it's a very, very intoxicating, when you see that red over like, I mean, you almost want to look at it and kind of grab it. It has like a real kind of, I don't know, sexy appeal to it. And the white is kind of like has innocence, and then the black is where a lot of the imagery sits on, what I mean? Because it's already kind of value-based, black and white paintings, so they think, but that's just a loose rule, Young artists? No, man. I got to ask them for suggestions. Talking about young artists are the ones I need to talk to, and I'm serious about that. Young artists are amazing. Young artists know how to get shows. They're determined. They got tons of gumption. They don't give up. I need to get that spirit. I've been getting shows, but I'm just kind of beaten down. Life just kind of, when you get over 50, getting in the 60s, I think so that's why I love the enthusiasm of young artists. How the process works. I'll screw everything on from the back. That's why you notice a lot of holes and ripped up parts in the wood, as much as I can. And then what usually I can't screw on the back, I'll fix to the front either by gluing it or by putting like small screws on. There's a lot of, so like half the work is just screwing everything together.